Hello there! I'm Emily!
And I'm Kayla!
And we just want to talk movies! I don't know why I'm doing it like it's
an announcement.
Wrestling match or boxing match.
I got you for 3 minutes!
Because it is Joker versus Art the Clown.
the battle of the clowns.
Oh. Today, we are going to be reviewing Joker,
Whatever.
the subtitle.
The second one.
Folie de.
Folie
de.
And
yeah. And discussing Terrifier 3. We have not gone to see Terrifier 3 yet.
But I just watched Terrifier 2 for the first time like 10 minutes ago. And I have a lot to say.
Kayla's finally up to date on everything Terrifier, which is exciting. So,
I guess.
we will be going to see Terrifier 3 soon, and we will discuss it at some point.
Yes.
But we'll talk about it a little bit today. But mostly we're going to talk about Joker and our thoughts, comments, opinions, feelings. We don't really have any news today.
I have absolutely none.
Yeah. So nothing too exciting in our periphery.
Yeah.
Happening.
I mean, stuff has been happening, but
Stuff's always happening.
not that I care enough about to report.
Nah.
Unless I'm completely forgetting something, which could very much be true.
It doesn't have to do with Daisy Ridley or anyone from Star Wars or anything about Star Wars. So.
We're a very biased news reporting. A while ago, there was a new Jurassic World movie announced, and I've just been so upset ever since because we do not need any more of those.
No, it wasn't. What's it called? Dominion. Wasn't that enough?
More than enough.
Wasn't that?
If I
Shouldn't that have made us all pause and be like,
I say so.
I think we can stop now.
The guy from Downton Abbey's in it though. He'll probably be
Which
good.
one? From Beauty and the Beast?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot his name in the show.
Dan Stevens.
Yeah, Dan Stevens is his real name. His name's like Matthew or something in the show.
Forevermore.
Forevermore. Is it him singing?
I think so. It's what it says on Apple Music.
With a bunch of like stuff on his voice.
Yeah, make it sound like Freddy Krueger in the remake. Anywho.
That was totally irrelevant news, but news nonetheless. Start with Joker.
Let's talk about what we liked about the movie, as we always do.
Well, I thought the performances were excellent. I love myself some Lady Gaga.
Yes.
And guess what? It was a musical. It was a jukebox musical. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't love jukebox musicals. No. However, there was one musical sequence that I was jamming to. I was like, okay, they devoured with this. It was the sequence where he breaks out into song in the courtroom. Yes. And there's all the red lighting, and that was a pretty good song. And what else did I like? I mean, it had the same like production value as the first one, which I really enjoyed, and they brought the score back from the first one. The score is excellent. Yes. And all of like that grittiness it didn't feel like a Marvel superhero movie, like, you know, I think we're all tired of that. Yeah. And that's something I like about the Joker and the Batman.
It's DC.
Yeah, yeah, I know, but DC has also been following. Yeah, they've been making Marvel movies, pretty much, basically. But a lot of these newer ones, like the Batman and Joker, have not been like that, which I liked. I like that they brought in Two-Face, and they kind of. His face got messed up at the end. I was like, hey, they kind of did it.
Yeah. I mean, it looked just dusty to me.
Yeah, but I knew that was what they were trying to do with that. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it for my big likes. I mean, I think it was funny the ways that they were making fun of the audience that completely loved the first one.
And missed the point of it.
And completely missed the point of it. I think that was funny. And I'm sure that's part of why this movie hasn't been received very well, but there are other valid reasons why it wasn't great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I kind of agree with all that. I think the production value was a big highlight, like the first one.
Mm-hmm. They look really pretty.
They're very, very good looking, the color palette and everything. And yes, the performances are very good. I think Lady Gaga is like, she's not in tons of stuff, but she's in stuff every now and then, and she's always like,
she's
really, really good.
The show.
Yeah. And of course, her singing is just amazing.
Yes. Every time she sang, I was like, okay, I'm seated. I'm ready.
Yes. Just gorgeous voice. Mm-hmm. And I really loved all the musical numbers. I don't like jukebox musicals. I find them so cringy.
But like the songs are old enough
because
they're not as like in our ears already.
Exactly.
So you can kind of pretend that it's not.
I think it fit perfectly because they already set that up with the first one as well. They had a lot of old music.
Yeah.
In that one.
That's why I'm like, when people are like, the whole musical thing is so out of nowhere and it's too much. I'm like,
no.
Did you watch the first one? I felt when I heard that it was a musical, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No wonder he would like use escapism and it would turn into a musical. Like,
yes. Because things are way more intense now, obviously. So he's going to retreat like way into his weird mental space.
Yeah.
And before his fantasy, it's always like he's the star and he's dancing around to the old music. So it makes sense that when he finds this woman and falls in love, that it would be like a romantic old Hollywood musical in his mind. So I thought it was perfect. And yes, the courtroom
that was a highlight.
Musical scene was the best scene, I think, in the whole movie.
I also liked the scene where they're dancing on top of the hotel, but it didn't last long enough for me.
Yeah, that was really, really cool, too.
A lot of other people would say it lasted too long, but...
Yeah, I guess. And yeah, they had, like, different... Sometimes it would be 30s style. Then they would kind of do 60s, 70s, and then more 50s. That's
how the first one was, too. Like, the references they would make.
And I love movies where you don't really know what time you're in. Yeah. Like, I think it's clear that it's in,
like, the 80s, right? But you still get
that kind of out of time
because he's crazy.
Yeah.
So he's sort of not there all the way.
Yeah. So I think that was all really, really good.
Yeah. And I think, like, 90% of the musical moments felt like they were earned. Like, they didn't feel like they were coming out of nowhere. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that complaint is, but I just love musicals. So.
Yeah, I love musicals. But, and especially with Lady Gaga.
Yeah. I'm like, Lady Gaga's singing? Okay. Okay,
so let's talk about some more of the in the middle stuff.
The very end completely lost me. I kind of like the idea that, like, the movement that he created kind of went beyond him because he didn't really know what the consequences would be. And then people are like, well, what's happening? You're not doubling down on everything? We have to take up the mantle. And I like at the very end when the guy kills him and then he's like doing the Joker laugh like, oh, well, this is going to continue and bring us to where we are in the Batman with the new Joker, which is cool. But I don't know. The ending was like, it was almost trying to make him too sympathetic and like he was sort of like becoming sane. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't understand where they were going with that.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they were flip-flopping a lot on what they wanted to do.
Yeah, what message they were trying to go for.
Yeah, because I thought what seemed to be the progression was at first he's just kind of like doesn't know what's going on because all this stuff just happened and now he's in this prison and he's just kind of going through the motions and then Harley Quinn is the one to make him aware of this huge thing that's still going on and all these people who
love him.
Yeah, his fan base, you could say. And so over the course of the movie, he's like, oh, I'm going to actually embrace this because finally I get my time as a god, which is what he's wanted.
Which is where they were going until they weren't.
Yeah. Then we take a weird spin like you said, towards the very end, and I don't know what was supposed to be going on in the prison. They, like, killed a guy or something.
Yeah, they strangled the one guy.
And it's never talked about ever again.
Well, because
what
they can get away with it easy.
I guess. But that just felt kind of weird. And then all of a sudden he's like, I guess that was supposed to be what made him not want to do this anymore.
Yeah. But I'm like, I don't feel like we needed that.
Yeah.
Like,
because then at the end, it's just, I don't know. It kind of just petered out. Mm-hmm. It's like, so what was the point? And I think the biggest thing for me of this whole movie is that it didn't justify its existence, really.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, this could have not existed, and the story of Joker would be the same, and I wouldn't need to know what happened.
It really ultimately didn't add anything to the character or the story.
I had a feeling that would happen.
Yes.
Because I knew it was only taking place in the court, like, during the trial. And so I was like, maybe it'll be feel like maybe a 1.5 instead of a full sequel. And then maybe we'll get, like, a third one that's a full thing. But no, it's just a little add-on where if you want it, you have it.
It's like an epilogue.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Harley Quinn was in it enough or explored enough.
No, she was so interesting. The way that she basically, like, scammed him and then she moved into his old apartment, and she's crazy. She's basically, like, one of the fans. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, we barely get to see her when she's outside. We spend so much time with Arthur inside the prison, and she's outside, and I wanted to see more of what she was doing outside the prison.
Yeah.
And just, like, dive into what the heck, how she ticked in general.
Yeah, and when I first saw, like, the trailers and everything, I thought they were going to go for, like, kind of doing commentary on when all the serial killers would get their trials and everything, and all the women who would
which they were kind of doing.
Yeah, and I felt like it could have been explored way more.
Agreed.
It was more kind of just a background thing. Mm-hmm. And when I think about, okay, well, where was the focus? I don't really know. And I don't think the movie knew either. No. It was kind of just going for vibes and not really story.
Definitely. And it was, like, still lingering on the first one a lot. Mm-hmm. We were still doing flashbacks there and talking about it. So, like, it really just felt like a little add-on.
Yeah.
And I wish I wanted it to be more of, like, a Bonnie and Clyde sort of thing, where, like, maybe the first half is the courtroom drama and the second half is just them on the run together. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
And then maybe that is when he realizes that things have gone beyond him, and then he's like, well, now I'm with this crazy lady, which is sort of what they do, but it's, like, so fast and tacked on, and, like, I don't know, it just felt too kind of half-assed.
Yeah, it wasn't developed in a way that felt what's the word, like, satisfying.
Yeah.
You get the message, of course, that, like, all the women in his life are out to get him and destroy him.
I was like, oh, we're back with the incels.
Yeah, which again I thought was, like, all the stuff they do is definitely very clever. Mm-hmm. And I liked the first one as well. I like both of these movies. They're just not movies that like I would ever watch again. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not really my kind of movie. Mm-hmm. With stuff like this, the psychological descent, I kind of prefer something like Black Swan, where the whole movie is kind of mirroring a fairy tale, and then it turns into, like, its own twisted version of it. Same with Annette, with Adam Driver. In case, I'm sure a lot of people don't know the movie, so.
Well, she brings it up all the time.
Yes.
So you should.
That's another movie about, like, a person losing their mind over the course of the film, and it's meant to mirror, like, a dark fairy tale. When it's kind of just, like, here's someone losing their mind. You don't like it as much? It's kind of like, it's good, but there's nothing that, like, draws me in. Like, no crazy visuals or, like, that little edge of horror fantasy that I like and stuff like that. It's kind of the same with Pearl. Real. Yeah, maybe.
Because I found a lot of it, like, with he turned into, like, Ted Bundy at one point.
Yes.
Representing himself in court.
Yes. And that's another thing they could have delved into more, is because true crime right now is such, like, everyone's obsessed with it.
They have the TV movie. They keep referring to the TV movie. I'm like, yeah, that happened.
So I thought we'd even get more into that.
Yeah. I definitely think that he should have had, like, more female followers. I think that would have been funny.
Yep.
But just having Harley Quinn there, there was a lot of commentary on that. But I like how she was also, like, she wasn't just, like, some girl who, like, is all wide-eyed and, oh, it's a cute guy and I like him. She was also, like, crazy. She had played him, which I liked. It made her a lot more interesting.
She had her own motives, but I don't know what they were or why she was doing that, because we never explored her.
She kind of just gives up at the end.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, goodbye.
And then it's kind of like, well, who were you and why did you do all of this? I don't know.
I think it makes sense where, like, they've both, like, turned each other into ideas. And
the idea of you.
Oh. And at the end, he's not what she wants him to be. And then she's not what he wants her to be. And that's what it turns into. But I'm like, why does it have to be done in a way where he seems the most sane out of everyone?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that. Just make him crazy. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I was thinking, because the first one, we got more sympathetic at the beginning and see, like, why he slowly descended into madness. So I was thinking with this one, like, all right, now he's gonna, like, go
be full
crazy. Force.
Yeah. But then they pulled back a lot. And I understand making him sympathetic. I don't think that's a bad thing. But I also, like, he's not a character that I want to root for. He's the Joker. So why are you making him seem the most sane out of all of these people at the end? I don't know.
And they could have even done that in a better way, I think, if he was just, the movie was about him realizing, like,
it's beyond him.
Wow, what did I do? I didn't just kill people. Like, I started so much violence.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really a moment like that. I guess the moment in the prison was supposed to be that.
Yeah, it happened too fast at the end for me to fully, like, feel like I was there with him.
Yeah.
It was more like I was like,
here's
now they're
scene.
doing this.
Yeah.
But again, I do think that since they were going that route, I think it is cool how at the end he's killed by one of the people who used to idolize him. And you see this person who kills him in the prison, you don't really notice him the whole film, but they cut to him a few times, just watching whatever he's doing, watching whatever Arthur's doing at the time, and he, like, looks like he's, like, totally into it. And then he comes in at the end to kill him because he's like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You need to be the Joker. And then he becomes the Joker because then he laughs like a psycho.
And carves the smile.
Yeah, then he carves a smile on his face, which I think it was really cool.
Wanna know how I got these scars?
Yeah, he becomes the Heath Ledger Joker. But I thought that was really cool because it's sort of like what they were trying to do with the newest Halloween movies. Where the evil passes on. But I think this was done in a much better way.
I will say that for
I'll give them that.
Yes. It was better than just having a guy named Corey be the star of the show.
God.
See, here's what the people who made Halloween Ends would have done with this movie. The whole thing, you would have maybe seen Arthur in the beginning, and then it would have cut to this kid in the prison. And we would have spent the whole movie with just this kid. And then we would have been like, so wasn't this about the Joker? And then maybe he'll come in a little bit at the end to die.
He'll come in to do a big battle at the end, and then he'll die.
God. At least they didn't do that.
And the whole time, Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be in the background saying,
trauma.
This movement, Arthur, has spread like a cancer throughout Gotham. And let's be as obvious as we can with the metaphor.
Just so you know, evil spreads. Do you guys get...
It's a generational curse.
The evil that Michael did,
yeah,
it spread to this guy, Corey.
Oh, really? And the evil that Arthur did, it created this movement, and now it's gonna spread to other people. Oh.
You know, before the credits rolled in this movie, Jamie Lee, like, it should have freeze frame, and then Jamie Lee walks
across
out
the screen.
The evil that Arthur created ended up killing him because of this man right
Trauma.
here. Trauma.
That's at least it wasn't as ham-fisted.
Yes. I will say that. But yeah, these movies are interesting. I was never as obsessed with the first one as everyone else was. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it had great production design and great score, much like this one. Mm-hmm. So that's why I kind of feel the same about them. I think the story was told better in the first one, and the character development,
more, like, focused story.
Yeah, but ultimately, they're kind of the same in my mind, like neck and neck.
I like the Joker, the first one, more, just because it was kind of more like scary to me, because like the way when he does the murders, I don't know, it feels very real.
There wasn't a lot, like, the violence that happened in this movie, a lot of it was off screen.
Yeah, exactly. It felt different than the first one in that way. It felt a little bit slightly lighter.
Yeah. And I don't know if that was, like, on purpose because
he wasn't as into it.
Yeah, or they didn't want... The message was supposed to be about how all the people who liked the first movie in the wrong way. So they didn't want to encourage it more.
Violence. Okay, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I wanted to see Lady Gaga in her Harley Quinn outfit more. I
thought she was gonna murder some people.
I know. See, that's what I was saying with the Bonnie and Clyde of it all. We could have had something.
Yeah, it's shame.
And it would have been a lot cooler than whatever Suicide Squad was doing.
Christ.
I feel like they made her too much of like a victim of him in that one. Whereas like I enjoy when they're just both crazy. Yeah. That's what Joker and Harley Quinn are to me, personally.
Yes. I mean, in the comics and the cartoon and everything, I don't know how it is, but I thought that they were both villains. I didn't think that he was like forcing her to do everything.
Yeah, I mean, she's crazy too, but doesn't he like electrically shock her in Suicide Squad?
Well, yeah, he like beats the crap out of her.
And yeah, it's like a fully abusive relationship. Like, I don't know if I need that from Joker and Harley Quinn. They're just supposed to be like a crazy in love couple, like they're Bonnie and Clyde type story.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would prefer.
Yeah, that's more fun, and I feel like it gives Harley Quinn more agency to just, you know, I support women's rights and I support women's wrongs.
Well, you know, like, it's okay to be like, the woman is just insane.
Yeah.
Yes, women are abused and
exactly.
They have domestic violence and all that. But sometimes when it comes to fictional stories, it's okay to just have a man and a woman be evil together.
Yeah.
And that's fun. Just all they are.
It's so much fun, Jan. Get it?
Yeah, that would have been really cool to see. Yeah. And I thought even if this whole movie was just the build up to that, and then at the very end they escape and it's like, catch them in the next one going crazy, that would have been like, okay.
Yeah, that would have been fine too. But I think they're done. They're
done.
And definitely after how it's been performing, whether they had more plans or not, it's done. All right.
It's embarrassing.
What would you, before we talk about that, what would you give this out of 5 for you, 10 for me?
So confusing. I want to say 2.5, but I feel like maybe just barely a 3.
Okay. I think I would give mine a 6, and then, like, for reference, Joker is like a 7.3, almost a 7.5 for me.
Joker's a solid 3 out of 5 for me. Okay. And this one's like
almost a light 3.
Yeah. Like, I'm hesitant, but at the same time, Lady Gaga, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait a minute, I forgot to talk about something.
What?
At the very end of Joker, when he's out after the courtroom blows up and he's walking around. So you see on the, what do you call them, marquee?
Oh, yeah.
You see,
he's running through the town. Yeah.
yeah. You see the movie A Bucket of Blood is playing, which is a horror comedy from 1959, like a B movie. I think it was a Roger Corman movie. Starring Dick Miller, who's usually, he was a guy, he's like a character actor. He'd pop up in like little bit roles in the 80s, but he was the lead in this movie. And it's a movie about a guy who's like, he works at this cafe and like everyone kind of makes fun of him and he's not confident with the ladies and everything. And then he starts, like he accidentally kills a cat or something.
No.
I know. And then he makes an art piece out of it and people are like stunned by the art piece. So then he starts killing the people who make fun of him and making them into art pieces, and people like praise him for it. I didn't even put it together, but when they showed that movie on the marquee, I was like, that is a lot like Joker.
Yeah.
And that probably was a big inspiration. So
That's
I thought that was
cool.
really neat.
That's a cool little reference.
Yeah. And I was like really excited about that.
I remember I turned to you because anytime there's a marquee in a movie and they're playing a movie, I'm like, Emily probably knows what this is. So I saw that and I turned to her and she looked very excited.
Like, of course, I had like a light bulb moment. So that was really interesting because that movie, when I think about it now, that is the total incel kind of movie.
Yep. It's incel culture right
he's
there.
like, oh, all the women don't like me, and then when he makes his art, he gets a girlfriend, and but then he has to kill her because she's. I was like, that's perfect. That's hilarious.
The original incel movie. I'm sure there were ones before that, though.
Yeah, before 1959.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I thought that was neat.
All right. Well, this week also was the birth of Terrifier 3.
Let's talk about the movie that's kicking the crap out of Joker right
Yup.
now. Oh my god. So the other clown named Arthur is doing much better.
Oh my god, his name's also Arthur. I didn't even put that together. That's crazy. Well, we have Art the Clown.
Speaking
and
of
Arthur,
art.
what is Arthur Fleck is his name in Joker?
Yeah. What a weird name.
Is
Fleck.
that a comic accurate name? Oh, I mean?
I have no idea. I don't know if this guy's in the comics or not.
I'm not a comics guy. I apologize.
No. I read The Rise of Kylo Ren and that's it.
I have read a few Stranger Things comics.
So this movie, Joker, had, I think it said, an 82% drop second weekend box office. That is,
abysmal.
for a DC movie, that's not good.
I don't understand. It was not that bad.
I didn't think it was that bad. I would recommend seeing it in a theater just because I think the musical sequences were...
I want to see that Joker sequence in theaters again. The courtroom sequence.
Yeah. I mean, I
That
definitely
was
think
really
it's worth a trip to the theater, for sure. I wouldn't buy it on Blu-ray, but...
I have the first one on Blu-ray, so I might do it to add to my collection.
Complete the collection.
I don't have enough money. I have to save up for Angry the Vampire on DVD.
But the movie that completely bulldozed over it, both critically and now financially, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Is
I love
Terrifier
it.
3. Yeah.
I do love it that a horror franchise is beating a DC
Yes.
movie.
A very...
I wish it would happen with Marvel, but...
Oh, yeah. A very indie,
Yeah.
completely self-financed and promoted, all that movie is
really cool.
beating the crap out of a DC movie about a clown, which is just marvelous. This is a very good day for horror, I have to say, and my little horror heart is very happy.
I wish we'd seen it. We obviously weren't a part of the reason why it's doing better than Joker.
It doesn't need our help, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I guess not. But it was too late for
Joker needed our help, to be honest.
Yeah. We'll probably see it next weekend, and or possibly Monday, but I don't know. But
I know you guys are wondering when we're going to see it.
I know. Well, we were supposed to have seen it before we recorded this.
Well, we weren't sure.
We didn't make any promises, but...
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to get you to go.
Well, I've seen the first two, so if we don't see it, then what was this all for?
Yes, I made Kayla sit through Terrifier and Terrifier 2, finally, as I talked to her about it.
We watched them in broad daylight, which I think was good for me. Also because I've been falling asleep super early. So I probably would have slept through them. Anyway.
So, Kayla, your thoughts on the gore. Was it as bad as you thought?
No.
Okay.
The first one
is really not that bad.
No, it really didn't do anything to me. I was like, okay, this is a gory movie, and that's pretty gross. What was the one where you see, like, the tongue? That's in the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the only part where I was like, ooh! Where you see the slicing in half of the girl, obviously.
The hacksaw.
That part was pretty crazy. But,
But really didn't show that much.
No,
I
not
thought, in my mind, like, I've seen that movie once, and all these years, in my mind, I could clearly picture the hacksaw death. And I thought you saw every single second of it.
I wonder if we accidentally watched a cut version.
I don't know.
Well, that would explain why.
But the more I thought about it, I'm like, because it's one of those things, I mean, everyone said that, like, when something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out, everyone was like, you saw so much, but then you go back, you're like, oh, you really didn't.
Yeah. I think you saw a lot. I mean, but
it wasn't as much as
they cut out, like, when he starts the sawing, they cut away, and I was like, oh, and then my mind was able to acclimate to what was happening enough where when it did show more, I was like, oh,
you're ready.
Yeah. So it really wasn't that bad. I just liked the effects. I thought were good. That was mostly what I was thinking, rather than being scared or grossed out. I thought the first one was boring. Honestly, I got really bored in the middle, and then I think both of them really drag at the end. You're just like, okay, I'm ready for it to be over.
Please.
But he keeps coming back, and then we keep up to that. And after a while, you are desensitized to the gore, so it's like, it's not doing much for me anymore. That's really all I have to say. I think that it's very much a movie written by men. Which I was expecting, so there you have that. I think that the actor who plays Art is so good, and I think that the makeup is really good. I'll always say that. I think it's an iconic look.
Yes.
That there's a reason why they're getting so popular. Like, they have the look, they have the character, the
personality.
Yeah, the personality is really there. I thought it was mostly funny. That mostly what I was doing the whole time in the first one was laughing, because Art is really funny.
They are meant to be funny. I mean, it's splatstick. It's the only reason, because when you look at these movies and you see, like, what type of kills there are and everything, it's really nothing you can't find in movies from the 80s. Yeah. It's just the way effects and sound design have progressed.
That's true.
It makes it so much more visceral. It's like, oh my God.
And just like, when you look at it, and it's a modern movie, it's so clear.
Yes.
It makes it more real to the modern viewer, because it feels like you're just watching a video.
When you watch something like one of the old Evil Dead movies, or any of, like, the crazy 70s and 80s splatter films, it's the same stuff. You see people getting mutilated in all kinds of ways, but the sound was always kind of like, what sound is that?
Yeah.
And the video quality, of course, isn't as good, and the practical effects, while they still are always going to be better than CG, are still, like, they're not as good as they are today. They've improved so much. So that's the reason why these movies
are taken off.
Is because no one wants to do that much practical in horror. I don't know if it's just because it's too difficult, or they think it's going to look goofy. But these movies are, like, pretty much 100%
maybe
practical.
It's too expensive. I don't know.
I have no clue.
I think that the second one made me queasy in certain times, because they really wanted to play with some goop.
Yes.
Multiple occasions they said, let's bring out the goop and just have a ball. And
your voice started shaking a little bit.
There were a couple times where I was like, ooh. But it was still mostly funny to me, and I was prepared for the bedroom scene.
Because you didn't look away, I don't think.
No, I didn't. I had seen most of it already from the commentary that I watched. He just put some blurs around the parts so that he wouldn't get copyrighted. And the only part... No, I'd pretty much seen it, because the only part that I think is, like, super scary... The rest of it, I mean, it's hard to watch because it's crazy what's happening. But it is goofy at the same time. The only part that's like, oh, God, is when the mom walks in. And I was prepared for that because I'd just seen it slightly blurred, and I knew it was like sort of an animatronic looking thing, and like she had chunks taken out of her. So I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah. But it's not pretty. It's pretty horrible, but I was prepared enough where I wasn't screeching and running away.
And I think also the thing is with these movies is they've gotten so hyped up with people walking out and throwing up in the theater and everything, and it's because the people going to see it are not like horror connoisseurs. You and I forced you to watch a lot.
Yeah,
so to us it's not quite as bad. It's like on the scale of on-screen gore, it's definitely way up there, but it's not to the point where we like can't handle it.
Yeah, I even if I wasn't prepared, I think I would have definitely looked away, but I don't think I would have been throwing up, you know?
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been that bad. But
in a theater, though,
I don't know. Setting? I can't say, because I've never seen anything that gruesome in a theater.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out.
I know. Yeah, I have no preparation for the third one.
No, I heard, I mean, they're saying it's like the same as the second one in the way that every single kill is just a complete performance, you know? It's not, no one just gets a quick little stab, you're done. Like, everything is going to be a set piece.
Okay.
But allegedly, nobody has said that there's a scene that's worse than the bedroom scene. I did hear that he kills kids in this one. But, I mean, I don't think... We've seen that. Again, if you've seen a lot of horror movies, you've seen kids getting killed. And you can do it in a way that isn't distasteful, I think. So I'm sure it's not going to be anything horrific.
No, they're not going to be the really bad ones.
No. I mean, we've seen... What's his name? Georgie get his arm ripped off by a...
that was the first time I'd seen anything like that, and that was in theaters for me.
Yeah.
That movie was probably the scariest movie I've seen in theaters, at least in terms of like the effect it had on me at the time.
Yes.
Because I was really averse of clowns back then, and I still do not like clowns, but I think they're not as... Like, I used to be like, I don't want to look at one, but now I'm like, I like a good clown.
Imagine if you saw Art when you were younger.
I would have run, yeah. That would have been like Pennywise was to me. But I saw the poster and was like, absolutely not. Just as a thought, trash.
Yeah, I think, like, it is definitely, especially the remake of it, that's a movie that's going for more scary, and it has a much darker tone.
Yes.
Terrifier is not trying to be like that.
Although... I feel like I don't love the whole they're trying to do lore.
Really?
No, I was like, just do your movie. I don't need this by the end.
Interesting.
Like, I understand.
You're the only one.
I know. Which even when I like watched the commentary, I was like, this is dumb. But the commentary guy was like, oh, and this is cool how they added this. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. It just didn't really do much for me. I was like, I'd rather... It makes him less scary when they're trying to do this whole weird mystical backstory with him. Just make him some lunatic guy who you don't really know anything about.
Well, the thing is, because in the first one he got shot literally in the head.
Back.
So he's obviously some kind of mystical...
But you could say the same thing about Michael Myers. Like, he could be a Michael Myers type. And Michael Myers is scary.
Well, the thing with Michael is he's literally meant to be just evil. The embodiment of evil. Yeah. And they couldn't copy that.
Yeah, but I feel like they spent way too much time on it. I did love the Clown Cafe song, and like that was fun. Yes. But by the end, I was like, they're just trying too hard to make it some. It's just a horror movie, guys.
Well, I think, yeah. Usually that's my opinion as well. Like, when a slasher movie is trying to get too mystical, I'm like, let's just get back to slashing.
Yeah.
But I think with this, I don't know what it is about it. And I guess most people...
It's intriguing. It's not like it's a dumb explanation and they left stuff a mystery, which is fun. Like, you want to come back for the next one to figure it out. But I feel like I don't need to figure it out. I'd rather just have a fun time.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. I'd rather not exert too much energy on it. I don't really care.
It just feels like, definitely with the first movie, it was so obvious they had such a great character, but they didn't really know what to do with them yet.
Yeah.
They were like, all right, story?
Yeah.
But we got a great character with great personality and a great look and the brutality. So I think, and everyone's complaint with the first movie is like, well, we have no final girl, we have no story here, like, what are we doing? What are we rooting for? And like, Art, what is he? Why is he doing this? Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. So what I just love about usually horror movies in general is the creators always listen to the criticisms and they really try to make something for the fans. So, and you can see, like, we got a lot of focus on Sienna, the final girl.
I liked her.
Yeah, I think she's a really, really cool final girl. Tough as nails.
Yeah.
And they were trying to do a lot with the story of Art and the kind of like dark fantasy almost twist we're going for. And it did feel to me like my one complaint with the second movie is at the end, it still feels like they don't really know what they want to do.
That's what I felt throughout the whole thing, that they were just trying to test out a bunch of stuff and see what people thought and go from there.
And I could be wrong. Maybe they do have a plan and this is all leading somewhere, but it did kind of feel like, all right, maybe this? Or maybe, I don't know.
Who's the little girl? I liked the little girl.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
And I feel like there's a connection there, like, with the carnival and everything, and this little girl who died there. I don't know if they're going to get into that in the third one. I heard she's not in it.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, I don't know. I remember Sienna said in the trailer, though, that she's going back to the Terrifier. Okay. So there's something going on there. I'm excited to see what the answer is.
I wish it were a roller coaster. It was more of like a House of Horrors, but I wish it turned into a roller coaster. That would have been cool.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, I think it's a worthy franchise to come along and add to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Did you like the second one more than the first one?
I think so, yeah. It was less boring. Like, I was really struggling in the first one. I was really bored.
I mean, there's really nothing, like, it's kind of, like I said before, it's like a collection of scenes.
Yeah. And
no final girl to root for.
This one, I was interested up until, like, the very end. Then I was like, okay, we have to wrap it up now.
Yeah, I agree. The end... That's also, when I watched it for the first time, I had like the same reaction as you. Yeah. I was like, so what are we doing here?
Can it be over now?
But hopefully again they take the criticisms, because I think a lot of people also said that. They're like, a little draggy at the end.
Yeah, it's over 2 hours, which a horror movie does not need to be.
A slasher movie should not be that long. But to be honest,
for what it was, the pacing was pretty good.
Yeah. I've seen movies that are an hour and a half that drag more than that. So good on you, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited. I hope we get some more answers in the third movie, and
I can't wait to see Art dressed as Santa.
Yes. We got new sunglasses, the Christmas glasses.
That's right. The Christmas tree.
Killing kids, I guess. I guess that's the
Christmas time. There's lots of kids around.
And I knew that as soon as they did the first teaser.
Yeah.
And he's like in the house and the little girl walks downstairs. I'm like, he's probably...
It's like the Grinch.
That's how they...
Cindy Lou.
Yeah. It's a dark version of... He would do that, though.
Yes,
Art wouldn't do that.
But soundlessly. I love all of his gestures. He's Harpo from the Marx Brothers.
That's definitely an influence.
He has the little flamethrower thing, and he has the horn. He's Harpo.
He's just a groovy guy.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I love the Christmas theme, too. Heard the first 10 minutes is
Crazy.
what got people walking out, but
Okay.
we're gonna get through it.
Okay.
Art in theaters, you guys. We're gonna do it.
I can't believe it.
It is 2 hours. So.
I never take a bathroom break. The only bathroom break I've taken in the last so many years was in Halloween, the newest Halloween, and that was only because it was so freaking boring.
Oh, Christ, yeah.
Halloween Ends. I forgot the name because I don't even care.
No.
And I might have to use a bathroom break again simply because I am terrified.
But Matt, you'll probably leave, and then when you walk back in, something insane
I will be able to go
happening.
back in. I'll be like, I can't open the door.
I'm like, oh, Christ.
I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't that bad, so maybe it will be bad.
It's the hype, honestly.
Yeah.
If you're a horror movie, if you're someone who watches horror movies all the time, it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah. I'm surprised at how desensitized, because I was watching some of this stuff and I was like, oh, and kind of like laughing, and then I was like, wait, that's actually kind of horrifying. Why am I not more scared right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's splatstick. It's literally meant to be over-the-top gore, literally to make you laugh.
Yeah, guess so.
You know, I mean, you'll see in a dark, disturbing movie, someone just getting shot once is more disturbing than things you'll see in Terrifier, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
interesting.
It's just hype, to be honest.
I'm excited, I guess, to see.
I know you're excited, Kayla.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know.
I'm excited to see Sienna beat the crap out of him again.
Yeah. Yep. We'll be there next week, sometime in the next week.
Yep. All right.
Well, what have we been watching?
Terrifier. Dance Moms.
Dance Moms. We've been watching a lot of Dance Moms. I watched Heartstopper Season 3. I feel like I must talk about this. This was another one. Listen, I read the graphic novels. I knew what was going to happen, and I knew that this season was not going to be easy for me. But I think it's both my least favorite and my favorite season because it hit me in a lot of ways I wasn't expecting. Take care of yourself if you haven't watched the season and are planning to watch it. Don't watch it all at once. I was at first planning to because they're really short episodes. And I watched like the first 3 episodes and I was like, I can't watch this all at once. I have to take breaks.
Take a break, watch Terrifier, come back.
Then come back to Heartstopper. It is probably my favorite depiction of mental health in media right now. I think they did it in a really tasteful way. They like showed a lot and like were really real about it without being like overindulgent. Like you could compare it to 13 Reasons Why. Where like, yeah, I don't need to explain that to anyone.
You just say the title and people know.
But it was very well handled. I think the actors also were like did a really good job portraying everything. I think that Kit Connor as Nick was so heartbreaking. There's a scene that everyone's been talking about, but it made me sob, where he is at a party and he starts to cry, and it was a lot. Anyway, he just did an excellent job. Joe Locke as Charlie was so good because he had to deal with a lot this season. He was the one going through it, and I think he did it beautifully. Everyone was just great. The only thing I would say is the side character storylines were a little bit pushed to the margins this season. I feel like season two is probably my favorite because I think every character is given a moment to shine and all of their storylines are handled really well. I think Nick and Charlie had a lot going on, so I understand why they're like the main thing. And I think Tao and Elle were really good this season. Tao has progressed as a character so well for me. I hated him in the first season, but I also relate to him a lot. But he's developed so beautifully in the third season. Everyone else was kind of just put on the back burner, and I love Tara and Darcy. I think they're amazing, but I didn't feel much for their stories this season, which was kind of a shame. Anyway, overall, it was a great season, and I think the fourth season is going to be the last one, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see what they do, because they haven't released any more graphic novels, so I don't know what's going to happen. So we'll see. That's all I have to say.
All right. That was nice. You do like really good speed
reviews.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of thoughts that go through my brain really quickly. Nick Nelson, let me just say this. Nick Nelson is one of the most relatable characters in all of media for me. It's like him and Pam Beesly. Those are my two that I relate to the most. So it's definitely a comfort show. But this season,
not comfort.
In some senses it is, because it's not like it's awful. It's not like it's just dark. But there's a lot going on, and it's very real. So you just have to take care of yourself when you watch it. I definitely had to take a break. I was like, okay, I have to step away.
Watch some kitten videos.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I just went downstairs and ate, and then...
Watch Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Yeah, that's a happy gay story. I love it. That the thing is...
redundant.
Yes. Heartstopper has always been like the happy, fluffy gay story that like we all need, because there's too many sad gay stories. And so when I was reading the graphic novel, I think the fourth one is when all the sad stuff starts to happen, I was like, darn, we lost a good one, folks. But I don't think that it is, it's not miserable. And I think when I saw it on screen, I think I understood it a little bit more. Seeing it on screen, I was like, I don't know. It hit me. It hit me hard this season. And it was really good. So
it hit me like Art with his nail bat right in the chest.
It was pretty brutal that way. And I just think that is a testament to the actors doing an amazing job. And I don't know, just the whole production is really good on this show. I appreciate that it is here.
Well, that's good. I can't wait to watch it and read it.
I know. I really want Emily to watch it, but she hasn't read the graphic novels yet, and she wants to do that first, so I can't force her to watch it.
I'm reading them in March.
Oh, it's so far away.
Anyway. I'm reading Song of Achilles in January.
They reference Song of Achilles multiple times in Heartstopper. There's a whole scene...
See, I have to read that first then.
Yeah, there's a whole scene where one of the characters is like, thank you for recommending that book to me. I kind of hate you now. I was like, that's what Emily's going to be like when she reads Song of Achilles.
God.
It's one of my favorite books. Any more things we watched?
Not me. I've been so busy. I haven't even watched movies lately. I know. It's been insane.
Well, we've been watching Only Murders in the Building Season 4.
Oh, that's true. We just started, or resumed, watching that.
I like the found footage episode. That's been my favorite so far.
So that was funny.
I love, that's why I love Community so much. Anytime they like break the regular mold of sitcom and they do something fun like that, it's always real good.
That's such a great show. Mm-hmm. I love that every season has a different theme.
Yeah. I love that they're doing a movie now. I love the photo shoot scene.
Oh.
It's a funny one this season.
Yeah.
I've been saying I've never seen Instagram that big before all the time.
The brightness up to 5,000. Yes. Thank you. I thought I was the only one who was like, what is it with old people? My eyes are burning out of my skull.
I know.
Please turn down your brightness.
And the huge text.
And they're like, why can't I see?
You're damaging your eyesight.
Anywho.
That's
pretty much all I've been watching.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, our next episode is going to be super fun.
Special episode.
Yes. We are going to be quizzing each other on our favorite topics. Mm-hmm. So I am going to find a very difficult Stranger Things quiz to give Kayla, and she is going to find a semi-difficult Star Wars quiz.
Why semi?
Well, listen, there's a lot of lore that I haven't even gotten into.
Yeah, I have
Star Wars is gigantic.
I have to steer clear of stuff that you haven't really watched.
yeah, we're going to be testing our fan knowledge.
Yes.
We might be fake fans. Who knows?
I might be. I forget a lot of stuff. I also haven't watched Stranger Things in a while. When was the last time I watched it? I watched season 4 in August, I think.
Yeah, I remember that. I came home and you were watching it.
So it's really only been a couple months.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't that long.
Anyway.
So that's going to be super fun. Just a relaxed episode. That's all we're doing.
Yep.
But until then, everyone have a happy Halloween.
Okay, have a happy Halloween.
Eat lots of candy. Watch lots of scary movies.
And if you don't celebrate, have a good Thursday.
Yeah.
Is it Thursday or Tuesday?
Still eat candy and still watch scary movies.
Yes.
But yeah, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up with all the news, if any news happens to come up. Doesn't usually, but it's nice to stay on top of when our episodes are coming out. And to see our little cute videos we make every now and then. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't ever miss an episode. And that's it for us today.
And we will catch you on the flick side.